Alright, we're on. How's it going today? I hope things are well for everybody. So, I've made a life choice for myself. It is time to give up smoking cigarettes. I'm sure that you've heard that before from family members, friends, whatever it may be. My choice lies in the simple reason that I've had enough of it. I've smoked for 10 years straight. I've sampled it, there's no doubt about it. And first I want to break down the social implications of my statement. I'm not going to harp on anybody else for smoking, let me lay that down right now, because I've been smoking for 10 years myself. So there's not really a lot of room for me to tell people that it's wrong and that it shouldn't be done. Personally, myself, there are a few reasons why I have decided to quit. It's expensive, but that's not the first reason why. The first reason why I've decided to quit smoking is, for me personally, I've been the kind of guy that would smoke pretty much a pack a day. A little bit less, but almost a full pack a day, especially when I have a day off or something like that. Then I'd rip through a full pack. But why I'm saying that is because it takes up a lot of my time. It is almost a test of the day. Smoke number 1, smoke number 2, smoke number 3, smoke number 4. There are little markers throughout my day, and I almost give myself little rewards as cigarettes and smoke breaks. So that's one of the big reasons, well, that's the biggest reason I'm giving it up, is I'm just going to eliminate those little markers from my day, which will open up so much more time to think and to be able to think in a smart way as well. Personally, that's just how I believe it's going to work. And then, like I said too, the finances are another big part of it. You know, they're only 10 bucks a pack, they're not that brutally expensive. But it adds up. You know, that's another $300 a month in income that I'll be able to bring in. And I can use that money. I'm sure that money will still be spent, but it won't be spent on something that takes up a lot of my time, that's not healthy. And it's, for me, it's kind of gross. A lot of people counter that with not smoking inside their house, stuff like that. But for the most part, I've generally smoked where I've lived, and it makes it not as clean, for sure. I had one other note that I wanted to say about smoking, and well, I guess I can just sum it up just by saying cigarettes were the boss of me. It's something I needed, you know, it wasn't a question of choice, it's just something that I was addicted to, and I'm just going to quit right now. I can do it, I heard somebody say. Right on, buddy. Thank you. Because I'll have all this extra free time on my hands, because the cigarettes won't rule my life, I know a lot of other people can handle it, but for me, I'm ready to let it go. So, because I'll have this extra free time, I'm going to sample a whole bunch of different information out there. There's so many different fields of topics for information out there. One thing I've been looking at a little bit in the past month or so is philosophy. I've never really thought about philosophy before. I've kind of just been a slave to the system, as you can say. And I wasn't planning on talking about this right now, and I had a bunch written down, but this is what I'm flowing into. I haven't really thought philosophical too much in my whole life, because I've kind of just accepted the system for what it is. For example, I'll use this example. When I'm going to use professional hockey in the NHL as an example, I don't know if a lot of my readers follow these players, but I'm going to break them down for you anyway. We look at the Sedin brothers in Vancouver, who are arguably the the best brothers combination that we've ever seen play in the NHL. Really, they're only rivaled by the Stahl brothers, who might be a little bit ahead of them because of championship pedigrees, I should say. But nonetheless, you have the successful Sedin brothers, the successful Stahl brothers. There's many other brothers who have been out there successful in the NHL, the Bure brothers. But going back to what I was saying philosophically, these great hockey players were great because they came from a system which provided them the opportunity to play hockey very well and be trained very well for their entire lives. They basically accepted the system that was presented to them, trained hard, worked hard, and became the top of their profession. Philosophically thinking, personally, my system that I've been presented had small opportunities in hockey, but I'm just using that as a reference. The way the system is laid out for me now, I've got to break free of that system, which is difficult for lower to middle class people. Even in the NHL, there's tons of NHL players who don't have a brother playing also in the NHL, but they still accepted a system in some regard because their parents definitely had to be extremely wealthy to put them through the rigors to make it to the NHL. Hockey is a very expensive sport, and you've got to start playing it when you're 8, 9, 10 years old at the latest to get there. So it takes a ton of financial commitment for anybody to make the NHL, and a lot of kids just aren't afforded that opportunity. Hi there, I'm back. Ironically enough, while I was in the middle of that little rant about the system stood up. I was sitting there on the park minding my own business when this fairly obese mother came up to me and was asking what I was doing sitting on the bench talking to a camera. She said that her child was playing in the park. I couldn't even see the child, and she thought it was a little strange that I would be talking to a camera. So I basically said, okay, I'll leave. I'm not doing anything wrong here, but if it makes you feel uncomfortable, then I'll just leave. So that's where I am right here. So the system kind of attacked what my goal was again. But she's not going to throw me off course. I was getting back to my point where when you are in the lower middle class, you're inside a different system than those who are provided opportunity after opportunity. And sometimes those people even break away from their system because they want to do something else as well. So basically, for me to break apart from the system that's presented to me, giving up smoking was a good choice for myself, for the reasons that I listed above. And it's going to take a lot of hard work, dedication, and passion. Not to say that it doesn't take that in the system that you're provided either, but I'm just going to have to put in that extra work. So on a lighter note, I was doing quite a bit of reading about the smile. Everybody smiles differently, and I'll give you a few tips about that, or a little insight to what I was researching. Number one was smile doesn't always mean that you're happy or that you're experiencing pleasure or joy. I know in some cultures, such as the Japanese culture, in Japan, a big fat wide smile can sometimes mean that you're afraid. I know China has also some studies done in China that the smile is kind of a defense mechanism. And you know, you see different people smile for different ratios of the day, and sometimes when somebody's smiling all the time, that can almost be too much. You feel like throwing up a little bit. I like to smile for sure, but there's different kinds of smiles too. Some smiles aren't genuine. Some people have a fake smile plastered on their face all day as they walk through life, and I can spot those fake little smiles all the time. But I suppose if it's your job in the service industry, you've got to be good at putting on a front all the time, unless you really love your job, which is possible as well. But I know that I guess that's what makes somebody good at the service industry, is if they really enjoy their job, then you can tell that their smiles are genuine all the time. And I've enjoyed this video, but I must admit that whole altercation in the park was a little strange. I will still post it. Like I said, I don't really take any personal offense personally that she was concerned. I suppose she said, "Oh, you're a single man sitting in the park with talking to a video camera." Well, parks aren't exclusively only for children. I just her ignorance is. I'm not going to attack her for her ignorance face to face. I'll just get up and leave and continue my work somewhere else. It wasn't essential to the video that it had to be done in a park. And yeah, that's it. Unfortunately, I had to move back to my apartment here, but that wasn't a big deal anyway. Alright, I'm done today. I'll see you guys in a couple days.